Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, almost Easter weekend. So, why does everybody fear change so much? Why is it so difficult? It's because nobody actively pursues it. There's few people in the world that are out there always looking for the next thing. They're looking for change. And you know who they are because those are the ones that are considered thinkers outside the box. They're considered progressive. They're considered leaders. But most people don't do that. Most people don't want change. They try to be the managers of their circumstances, and they try to have change never happen. And then when it does happen, they're not prepared for it, they don't want it, and they fear it, and so therefore it's something that's bad. But the reality is change is always going to happen. It's the only constant. Remember that when we have a problem, when we find a solution, the solution equals change, and the change is going to equal a new problem. So you're always going to have change going on in your life. So one of the things that you can do is decide, I'm going to actively pursue change. You could even say, I'm going to actively pursue problems. I just want them to be quality problems. We talked about this before where it's like, well, my problem is that I have to pay too much in taxes this year since we're almost at tax day. Well, that's a quality problem. That means that you made a lot of money. So those people who actively are looking for change all the time, they're looking for the next thing. They're always looking for what's on the horizon. Even if they get it wrong, it isn't like a catastrophic wave crashing over them. Coffee's done. Because they're looking for change. So even if the change that they're looking for isn't the change that happens, it still doesn't surprise them because they knew something was going to change. And they stay flexible. I mean, think about this. What is it that makes somebody youthful? It's energy and flexibility, right? Kids have energy and they have the ability to adapt, and they're not only flexible physically, they're flexible emotionally and mentally. If something doesn't happen the way that it was supposed to happen, they go, okay, and they're going to have fun anyway, and they're going to go do whatever. Old people are not flexible, both physically, but also emotionally and mentally. When something doesn't happen the way that they planned, their response is hostile and negative and aggressive and upset. It's a defense mechanism because they weren't ready for it. So if you want to stay youthful, you need to stay flexible. Now, there's a physical component to that, but the main component to that is mental. People that are youthful, because you've met somebody who's in their 70s or 80s, but is still youthful. They're looking for change. They love the new thing. They love the next thing. They don't hate it when something is different than it used to be. They look at it and say, how can I use this? What's great about this? They ask different questions. So don't be the manager of your circumstances. Be the designer of your life. And to be the designer of your life, look for change. Look around and say, where is change going to happen? And how can I manage it in a way? How can I design it in a way? Use the wrong word there. How can I design it in a way so that it's useful for me? How can I design this change in my life so that my life is better? Don't look at it as, please change, don't come at my life because it's going to make my life worse. The reality is if you adapt to new technologies and you adopt them, they can make your life simpler. They can make your life easier. Or you can resist them and they can make your life more complicated. When it comes to new, progressive ideas or changes like COVID, you can look at that and say, oh my God, my life is over. Or you can say, how can I use this to make things better? We all know that I'm a big Tony Robbins guy. I mean, now because of COVID, and he resisted this change, but now he's adopted it. His ability to reach people has been multiplied 10 times by using Zoom. I look at the changes in technology just in my business in the last 30 years, and we can now do 10 times what we used to do with 1/10 of the staff. Technology has made that just, so much more powerful. And now with Zoom, and talk about efficiency, I don't have to go to court anymore. I click on a camera and I'm in any courtroom in the country. It's amazing. I no longer have to sit in my car for hours and maybe talk on the phone to try to be productive. It used to be we had to fly all over the country to take experts' depositions. That's gone. Now, if I'm taking the defendant's deposition, I want to do that in person if I can. But even that, it's like not the end of the world. But the expert who's sitting in California, I'll do that by Zoom all day long, and I'll fly out there if I want to, but I don't necessarily have to. So know that change is coming. It's always on the horizon. Look for it. The wave is coming. Become a surfer. And ask yourself, how can I adapt this to my life to make my life better? How can I use this? What about this is great? Remember that the way we think is by asking questions. And stay hungry and stay flexible. Be the one that's looking for the change and is excited about it. And you're going to be the one that ends up on top in every way, not just in business, but in personal, in financial, in every way. If you're the one that's saying, I can't wait for this change to happen and to see what it looks like. If you watch Warren Buffett, he stays within his lane, but he doesn't resist change. He looks at it and he says, how is this going to change the world in a way that I can benefit from it financially and adapt to it so that I can use it to my own advantage? Those are the questions that he asks even in his 90s. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. See you tomorrow.